for the continuation in the discussion regarding classroom organization, I am now going to discuss about instructional materials and adaptive equipment. So, the first example for the instructional materials and adaptive equipment is highlighters. And we also have here highlighter tape. Both highlighters and highlighter tape are beneficial forms of assistive technology that can be used in classes with students with disabilities, especially to those with learning disabilities. They both are available in different sizes and colors so that they can be used in a variety of learning scenarios. Students that struggle with comprehension can use highlighter tape to highlight keywords or words that they do not know the meaning of. They can also make notes about those same words on the tape. Because highlighters and tape come in several colors, they can also be used to organize materials. Also, highlighters can be used to point out words that are vocabulary words or critical words that students should know or are struggling to pronounce or remember. Highlighters is a great way to introduce the idea of annotating text in order to help with the student comprehension level. Some of the activities using highlighters are first, the name writing practice. So in order for those students with special needs will be able to write, using highlighters is a great strategy. Name writing practice activity is a great activity to build confidence and introduce letter formation. Simply pre-write students' names in highlighter and allow kids to trace over them using pencil. And then the second activity is beginning scissor work. This activity is great for younger students who are learning how to cut. Simply trace objects from around your home or classroom with a black Sharpie permanent marker, then go over it with the highlighter. The highlighter widens the cutting areas and adds visual interest that will engage the students. And now let's talk about another example of the instructional materials called overhead projector. So what is overhead projector? The overhead projector, or OHP, is a small machine designed to project an image on a small screen or whiteboard. If you have a screen which can be placed above the whiteboard and pulled down accordingly, it will stop the glare. So what are the benefits for this in teaching, especially to those with special needs? When using overhead projector, it saves time in the preparation of classroom material. A better quality of material can be presented, and then the material presented can be seen by the entire class and revealed item by item without the use of large cover screens or other cover sheets. And the projector may also be used in a lighted room, enabling the students to take notes from the information presented, and the materials can be prepared in advance of class meetings and can be used anytime repeatedly, in which enables lecturers to build notes, tables, diagrams, and so on. And the next example of the instructional materials can be used in teaching students with special needs is slates for corresponding. First, let's talk about the word choral responses. Choral responses is that the teacher asks a question, providing thinking time and signals for all students to say the answer. So, for the students' response to the teacher's questions, it is better to use slate. So, what is slate? Slate, example of slate are miniature dry erase board, whiteboard, and mini chalkboard. Response slate or using slate in responding is an example of written response. We all know that there are students with special needs who have difficulty in responding verbally. So using slate in responding the teacher's question is a great way in which students only write the response on a miniature dry erase board with a dry erase marker or mini chalkboard. And And another example of the instructional materials are materials for range of readability levels. As we all know that the word readability is a measure of how easy a piece of text is to read, or is what makes some text easier to read than others. So as a special education teachers, you have to make and use good and appropriate instructional materials nga makasabot ang students with special needs ug dali ra mabasahan sa mga students. Dapat ang words and text dagko also instructional materials nga ma-engage and ma-enjoy ang students to participate. And the next example of the instructional materials are books and tape, also known as audiobook. It is an audio recording consisting of a book or other material read aloud. Audiobooks are pre-recorded tools with relevant information relating to the particular field a student is studying. They are present in different formats, including CDs, MP3s, and audio cassettes. You can also subscribe to electronic libraries online and listen to various subjects. Audiobooks are a wonderful way to expose students with special needs to complex language, expressive reading, and fantastic stories. Listening to audiobooks also gives the students with special needs the valuable and enjoyable experience of using their own imaginations to visualize the people and places they are hearing about. Though popular with many families during long car trips, audiobooks are a great way to experience stories anytime, anywhere. And the next example of the instructional materials is the tape recorder for lectures and oral response. Tape recorders, those are used to play audio tape text by children with reading disabilities. The child listens to the recorded text in books to printed materials rather than reading it. Tape recorders are used by children with listening problems to capture spoke information of the speaker or teacher's lesson. These recorders allow children to the oral presentation again and again, especially for those children who have problems processing, understanding, or remembering what they hear. Nowadays, we can use digital tools like cell phone or video camera for recording lectures and oral response. And the next example of the instructional materials is simplified written directions. You have to break down instructions into smaller, manageable tasks. Students with special needs often have difficulty understanding long-winded or several instructions at once. For children with learning disabilities, it is best to use simple and concrete sentences. You might have to break down a step into a few smaller steps to ensure your students with special needs understand what you are asking. You might even want to put the directions both in print and saying them verbally. Ask your students with special needs to repeat the directions and ask them to demonstrate that they understand. Do not give further instructions until a student has completed the previous task. The next example of the instructional material that can be used in teaching students with special needs is personal computer and internet access. Personal computer, it is your own computer in which you as an individual user would have direct control of the entire computer. We all know that computer and internet access is very important as a teacher, also as students, right? And some of the importance of the computer and internet access are, first, it is important for research. If the teacher have computer and internet access, the teacher will be able to do research and gain more information in teaching students with special needs. Second importance is improving students' performance. And third importance of personal computer, and internet access is for the students, teacher, and peer interaction. The internet has allowed students to be in constant touch with their teachers or with other fellow classmates with the help of social media, messaging apps, and chat forums. Parents can interact as well as communicate with teachers and school authorities about their kids' performance in school. Interaction with like-minded people on forums can help students to explore new ideas and enrich their knowledge. And next importance of the computer and internet access is easy access to quality education, in which students can easily access quality education materials like tutorial videos on YouTube for free or pay fees online for more quality study materials. Teachers can also make use of the internet by providing the students with extra study materials and resources such as interactive lessons, educational quiz, as well as tutorials. Teachers can record their lectures and provide it to the students for revisions, which is better than reading from notes. Also, it is important for effective teaching and learning tool. The internet has become a major tool for effective teaching as well as a learning tool. Teachers can use it as a teaching tool by posting their teaching materials or notes and videos on school websites or forum. The learning process becomes interesting and diverse with the use of tutorial videos and notes. Teachers can teach with the use of animation, PowerPoint slides, and images to capture the students' attention. And next is the example of the adaptive equipment is PC software. And the examples of PC software are Dragon Naturally Speaking and Ultimate Reader. Dragon Naturally Speaking, it is a speech recognition software that lets you use your voice to get more than every day on your computer quickly and accurately at home, school, or for hobbies. Dragon Naturally Speaking is a good adaptive equipment in teaching students with special needs in writing, in which students simply talk and the text appears on the screen up to 3 times faster than typing. Students will just speak commands and the dragon understands and executes them. Students can dictate and edit documents, send email, search the web, and use social media with unparalleled speed, ease, and comfort. Another example of the PC software is Ultimate Reader. It is just like um, of Dragon Naturally Speaking, a speech recognition software also that read text on internet aloud. And another adaptive equipment that can be used in teaching students with special needs is the Franklin Speller. The Franklin Speller is intended for kids ages 6 and up who need assistance identifying word meaning and spelling new words. It can be used to accommodate the needs of any student with a disability that manifests as spelling, editing, and writing problems, and can be used in any content area that requires the use of writing. It is a good adaptive equipment because it is a device not only does help pronounce words that are unfamiliar to readers, but it is also can provide synonyms as well. And another example of the adaptive equipment is a communication board. A communication board is a device that displays photos, symbols, or illustrations to help people with limited language skills express themselves. The user can gesture, point to, or blink at images to communicate with others. Communication boards can be used to communicate with others by providing simple, recognizable images and symbols to understand one another. The student with special needs can use communication boards to express a simple message. For example, such as the student need to use bathroom, Ang communication board pwede ma-use as a way to communicate sa iyong teacher. Just simply send or use image or symbols pertaining to or nag-determine nga gusto siya go sa bathroom. And then, communication boards can also used for asking questions. If ever na siya i-ask, pwede, for example, pwede ba kumukaon og fruit nga apple? Nara image or symbols nga iya isend nga nagdetermine sa mao nga question. And the another use of communication board is to display a schedule or structure, like a sequence of steps to follow at a particular time of day, such as bedtime. And another example of adaptive equipment is closed captioned video. It is often abbreviated as CC, and subtitling are both processes of providing text on a TV, decoders, or other visual display to provide additional or interpretive information. It is closed captions were initially created for deaf and hard of hearing individuals to assist them with comprehension. They are critical for these individuals in order for them to participate, live, and effectively alongside their peers and counterparts. Captions can provide all viewers with an additional visual cue regardless of disability. Viewers can benefit as captions are known to increase engagement and information retention of video. Another example of adaptive equipment is Braille. Braille is a system of touch reading and writing for blind person in which reads dots represents the letters of the alphabet. Braille is always has been and always will be more than just a tool for blind individuals who use it. It also contains equivalents for punctuation marks and provides symbols to show letter groupings. Braille is read by moving the hand or hands from left to right along each line. The reading process usually involves both hands, and the index fingers generally do the reading. The average reading speed is about 125 words per minute, but greater speeds of up to 200 words per minute are possible. By using the Braille alphabet, people who are blind can review and study the written word, and they can also become aware of different written conventions such as spelling, punctuation, paragraphing, and footnotes. And the next example of adaptive equipment is low vision equipment. Example of low vision equipment is clock. So dapat ang clock is naay large numbers aron mas makita dayon og di tantong maglisod og tan-aw, especially those students with low vision. Also, pwede sad magamit og talking clock in which maka-announce sa time. And last example of the adaptive equipment is lapboard. Lapboard is a writing board used on the lap as a table or desk. It is useful for students with special needs in which the students can work wherever they feel most inspired. And last example of the adaptive equipment is lapboard. Lapboard is a writing board used on the lap as a table or desk. It is useful for students with special needs in which the students can work wherever they feel most inspired.